Hey, Indianola First Pres. We really wanted to be with y'all for this mission conference, but we just were so busy here on the field that we couldn't take our time out to be there. Before we start this video, I wanted to share a little bit about myself, and then Nadia will share a little bit about herself. Hey guys, it started raining upstairs, so we decided to come down here and finish this. Like I said, I'm going to do my testimony real quick, and then Nadia's going to do hers. But for the people that weren't there last time when we spoke about a year ago, my name's Jimmy Dukes. And I grew up not too far from where y'all are in Demopolis, Alabama. I went to First Pres of Demopolis from about the time I could walk to the time I went off to college. And like many people in church, I believed myself to be saved. I thought, well, if I go to church every Sunday, how could a loving and just God throw me into hell? But that's the part I didn't understand. That God is holy and He is just, and I was not. Well, I moved off to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and that's when things turned for the worse for me. I began drinking and smoking, and I found other drugs. Well, a couple of years doing these things, I got addicted to drugs and alcohol. Well, one day my mom calls me and says, "Hey Jimmy, you want to come to a missions conference?" And I was about to say no, but she made me feel like I needed to come. And I felt myself that I was already disappointed them so bad that I needed to come myself. So I said yes. So while I was at the missions conference, like any other time in church, I didn't really listen until this last guy got up. And when he was walking up to the pulpit, it felt like he was just staring straight at me. And he spent more time talking about sin than the time that he was on the field. And that really scared me. I just wanted to go home and run and hide. But I can remember when I did get home, I started reading my Bible and trying to pray, and I had no clue what I was doing. I thought in my mind, if I just do this work, if I just do this little bit, that the Lord would save me then. So things didn't last too long with me doing that. But my time in Tuscaloosa ended, and I came back home to Demopolis, and I started going back to church. And I met this youth pastor that really helped me understand things. His name was Doug McNutt. And I remember him talking to me and explaining things that it wasn't me who was chasing after the Lord. It was the Lord that was chasing after me all this time. Because I needed the Lord to do that first step of waking me up, because I was dead in my trespasses and sins. I didn't understand that I was enslaved to my sins and dead, and I needed God to make me alive again. Not long after that, I committed to going to a missions trip, actually here to Peru with Doug, and this crazy doctor named Eric Lessman. I mean, come on, y'all know him. Well, believe it or not, on that last day of the missions trip, that's where I met my beautiful wife, Nadia.
Well, hey guys, like Jimmy said, my name is Nadia Dukes, and I'm from Peru. I was born here and raised here the majority part of my life, I would say. But part of my testimony is this. When I was pretty much the oldest sister, always the one that take care in the house, almost like the mommy, with a lot of responsibilities at home. I was constantly prideful about that in the wrong way. I always want to take charge of everything, and I didn't like for nobody to tell me what to do. It was hard for me to understand that there was a God, and that God wanted me, and that He loved me, He cared about me, because I always thought I grew up by myself. I was a young lady now, and I didn't need nothing, not especially a God. When I was probably about 16, going to 17, I got an invitation from somebody to come to a church. Well, it was actually my granddad. And he was telling me, we gotta go to this church, your uncle is a preacher. And I was like, no, we can't go to those kind of churches. People will make fun of me. I'm kind of like the popular at the school, so I don't think that will be a good thing for me to do. But anyway, he pushed us to go, and I will never, ever forget that day. Even though I was so mad that we were going so late, I didn't feel like I was dressed up properly. When we got there were so many people at that small place. And this guy literally yelling all over the place, and I wanted to see him. So as I was trying to reach him and trying to approach more and trying to see who is this guy talking, what's he trying to say, he was sharing about the love that God has for us. And he was using this game saying, well, how much do you love me? And the son will say, well, Daddy, I love you this much. And then we'll go farther, I love you this much. And no, I will love you this much. And finally, this guy put himself on his knees and opened his arms like this and said, would Jesus love you this much? And this is how he died on the cross for you. I just felt like somebody stabbed me right straight at my heart. But it was a good stab. It was a good feeling to know that, yes, there is somebody that loved you that much, that did that much for you, Nadia. And even though you think you don't need him, you actually do. I wanted from that moment, I wanted to know him more and more. Start participating in that church actively. And it was so funny because once I was against of this Presbyterian church that a young girl will never step on. Now I was more than proudful to be part of it, and I was one of the leaders very soon after that. And like Jimmy said, many years later, we met at this very place at the church when I was working, and I was actually teaching at the Sunday school and at the VBS as well. And well, since then we've been married. 2007 we got married, and we been together since then. And the Lord has showed us in many ways He wants us to be missionaries and to serve Him. So we're thankful to be here together and working together.
Let us show you a little bit about what we're doing here, our ministry here in Huanta, Peru. Here we are at our new church land, and as you can see from the photo or the picture before, we have now constructed our support beams, our walls, pretty much our foundation, everything. But now all we got to do is build our roof, pretty much.
Ayúdanos a construir nuestra iglesia.
Estimados hermanos que nos están viendo, queremos que nos ayude a construir esta iglesia, la iglesia del Carpintero de Nazaret. Esperamos que esta iglesia sea una iglesia que haga historia acá en Huanta. Tenemos un buen grupo de niños y como pueden ver hay también un buen grupo de jóvenes. Ellos son los que van a heredar a esta iglesia y queremos que ustedes puedan ayudarnos por la gracia de nuestro Señor.
We felt it is important this year to really focus on the teaching of the congregation and leaders in the church, since we have had members going to the church for years, but some of them really don't understand what it is to be Presbyterian. For a while now, I've been teaching some of the members about the Reformation from Luther, Zwingli, Tyndale, and Calvin, but recently I found that many new members, some new and old, have never studied the Westminster Confession of Faith, shorter or larger catechisms, and seem to have a true desire to learn. Recently, the elders decided to start studying the book of church order since we have joined the presbytery. Please pray that the humbleness for us to search the scriptures while studying everything that I have mentioned. Also pray that I'm able to find enough resources in Spanish to teach the congregation.
Hey you all, I would like to introduce you to these beautiful ladies. All of them are part of the ladies' meetings, but not all of them are part of the church. But yes, they all come every Thursday at 6:30. I remember the first time we started the ladies' meeting at the church, and it was just so hard to get them all to come. We were maybe 2 or 3, and some weeks 5 or 6 ladies. But now we are around 20 to 25, and we're beyond thankful for that. We celebrate baby showers, birthdays, and as you can see, we have little girls that are part of the group also that come to the meeting and have a good time with us. What we mainly do is to have some songs, and then we do Bible study. We also share some testimonies. We try to be part of every activity around Wanda, like in this concert that you can see. We prepared to sing this beautiful song that it was about the woman in the Bible that was sick for 12 years. And it was so very special for all of us. I will ask you to please keep all these girls and ladies in your prayer. Young Life is a ministry to reach out the youth. We're very thankful to say that we're part of this ministry since last year, July 2017. And the way that we do is a little bit different of what churches sometimes will do. What we do is we go to their school and talk to them, play with them, dance with them, and do all kind of things with them. But mainly, we try to become their friends and have the possibility to later on talk to them about Jesus. So we become first friends. After that, we start doing these things that we call clubs. We have a special time and a special place, and we just play and compete and dance and eat, and very gently we share about the gospel. Many of them just kind of look at us because many of these kids never had a step at the church before in their life. So we use this as an opportunity to talk to them about our precious Lord. We are thankful for the opportunity, and we ask you to pray for these kids. Many of them still don't know what their lives are going to be because they're finishing high school now. Sometimes, as you can see, we take them back to their house after the club is done. We are wishing and desiring with all our heart to start a camp with them, but that's something that is very expensive. So we are just praying for the Lord to provide and be able to do this soon.
We have felt a strong need here in our church for marriage counseling. As we grow closer to the people in the church, more people have asked us to help them in different problems in their marriage. Some just feel the need to understand each other better and want to work on being closer to the Lord together. This year, Nadia and I are desiring to take a course to be certified in marriage counseling. We feel this is important to keep the couples seeking marriage and the ones that are already married strong to be able to help each other on working together for the Lord.
Radio Mauta has been a huge blessing for us. Every Saturday at 12, I get to go to the radio and share a little bit of everything from single moms to marriage, from rebellious teenagers to addiction of all kind of drugs. Mainly things that are really happening on a daily basis. And it gives me the opportunity to remind everyone who is our God and all the things He can do really for us. I use verses of the Bible and also music to speak and teach. Almost every other Saturday, I receive messages from people that listen to the program, and what an encouragement this is for us. Please pray for this ministry, as I'm not planning on stopping it. Like I said, I'm very blessed doing this, more than many people could even imagine.
Well, that's it. We love you guys, and we thank you for watching.